Hey, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at kiesmotorsports.com. Today, we're going to show you how to install a Studio RSR roll cage in a BMW F30. So as I mentioned, we're going to be installing a 4-point roll cage from Studio RSR in my BMW F30 335. So basically, the roll cage is going to get set like this. Something that's really cool about it is a bolt-in kit. So no welding required, and if you ever need to, it is reversible. So as you can see, this kit is comprised of two main pieces. So we have our main hoop, which is the part that's going to sit behind your car and save you if there's a rollover, and then you have the rear legs, which is a smaller portion down here, and as you'll see, they bolt together with 4 bolts, and as you'd expect, this comes with all of the hardware that you'll need. So let's start by installing the rear legs. Now, if you're doing this in a 4 Series, you're most likely going to need to completely remove the driver and passenger seat. If you're going to do that, always be sure to disconnect your battery first. Now, because this is an F30 4-door, all we need to do is slide the seats as far up as you can. Then what we're going to do is we are going to remove the lower seat. To do that, there's a clip right over here, and then there's one right over here. So just grab and just pull up, grab, pull up, push the seat belts down, which we've already done. Slide this out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the back seat for the cage. So what you want to do is release the latches and then fold them down. Then what we need to do is we need to remove these side pieces. So to do so, just grab about here and just firmly pull. And then you just lift up and slide it out of the way. Then do the same on the other side. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do some preparations to get that main hoop in here. So as you saw, it is a huge chunk of metal, and we don't want any of the legs to scratch anything. So I'm just going to lay out some painter's tape over my armrests. And then we're gonna protect this general area over here. Now what you can do is grab your main hoop. You're gonna put the legs towards the front of the car and the top towards the rear windshield. And again, be very careful, especially around those areas where we put the blue tape, and you always want to have a second person for this part of the job. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we are going to install the rear legs. So we're going to put our rear seat in the upright position. Now with the rear legs, you're going to notice this flat spot right here with a hole. And what this is going to do is this is going to line up right here. Okay. I'm good, you good? Yep. Okay. Then what you want to do is take a washer, put it on your bolt, and then I like to feed the bolt up because it makes it much easier to get the other washer and nut on. So do that to one side and then repeat on the other side. Now at this point, what we're going to do is we are going to snug this up just to make sure that this and the main hoop are properly aligned. Then, as you'd expect, do the same on the other side. Then what we're going to do, just rock this back, lock it in place, and then take your Allen bolts, look just like this. I'm going to put the lower ones in. Do the same thing on the other side. Now what we need to do is we need to mark the floor so that we can drill some holes to secure this to the floor. Now, I don't actually like to use a marker or anything. I like to just trace it in painter's tape. So this time, you can just outline it in painter's tape. All right, so here's one side, and we'll do the same on the other. Once both sides are marked, what you can do is remove those screws again. Then what you can do is lift up on the rear legs and just very carefully rock the main hoop forward. Then what we're going to do is we're going to mark the center of each Now, this is a chalk marker, it's not a paint marker. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a plus into the carpet. So I like to use this knife because it locks in place and it's super sharp. I'm going to use a squeegee as a straight edge to make sure I get the straightest cut possible. Just like that. So as you can see, we have a plus. Then once you're done this side, do the exact same thing on the other side. Then what we're going to do is just gently slide the foot here underneath the carpet. And then you'll have to just very carefully maneuver the back up without crushing your fingers. Now it's very possible that to get it to fit properly, that you may need to extend your cuts ever so slightly. Okay. Looks good. All right, great. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Then what you want to do yet again, now that we're under the carpet, is you want to get your roll cage lined up again, and then just very loosely put that bottom bolt back in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to mark out the spots that we need to drill, and we're going to also remove any underbody paneling, make sure that there's nothing in the way. You never want to accidentally go through some kind of line, some kind of wire, fueling. It could be a really bad day. Then what you can do is just very carefully mark these holes. Make sure that there is nothing under them, and then you can drill them out and install your bolts. All right, so what we're doing now is we're just removing a couple fasteners just to make sure that we're not going to hit anything when we start to drill. So for this, I'm just using a T30, and we're just carefully unscrewing some of these plastic screws that hold in some of the underbody. Once you finish marking everything out, you want to grab your drill and drill out all those holes, and then use the supplied nuts and bolts and secure the roll cage to the floor. Okay, let's carefully lift this out of the carpet. I'm gonna rock it forward. Now when I was drilling the holes, what I did is I removed some of the carpet padding, as you can see, just in those corners, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow the carpet to sit much closer, much tighter. It's going to look much neater on the roll cage. Then what you can do is rock it back and bolt it up. Now with everything in place, we're going to bolt it up. Kind of a boring process, so we'll just time lapse it. What you can do, just press that down just like that. Once you've tightened all these bolts and also the bolts back here, what you can do is install your last two Allen bolts, and then this cage is fully installed. Now this is personal preference, but I still want to have at least part of my back seated. Not that anyone can sit back here anymore. So we're just going to maneuver this into place. I'm not really too worried about the seatbelt. It's because, well, no one's going to be sitting back here. Now for your side pieces to fit, you are going to have to do some trimming. So once again, I'm using a chalk marker. It is not a paint marker. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is trim. I know some of you are probably going to think you can muscle it. Well, we tried. It's just not happening. So once you cut this though, there's no going back. So keep that in mind if you choose to make the cut. I'm gonna have these bolt cutters. Piece of cake. All right, and that looks pretty good. So let's do the exact same thing on the other side, and then we're done. At this point, everything is fully installed. Time for epic B-roll. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching Kies Motorsports. If you are interested in a roll cage or other performance, aesthetics, or retrofits for your BMW, be sure to check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. If you haven't done so already, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.